We got Ricky Simone back here on the program. He's coming off a win in his UFC debut at UFC Fight Night 128 on April 21st. Ricky, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing pretty damn good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'd imagine you're doing pretty damn good. You're coming off the first UFC victory, which is always a good feeling. It's been a bit now since that fight happened. Has it sunk in yet that you have a win in the UFC?
Yeah, I feel like I belong there. So it's just now that it's passed, I'm just kind of figuring out what's next. And I'm so excited. I thought I'd be excited to take some time off. I've been a busy guy this last year. But man, I just cannot wait to get back in there and show what I can really do and impress the fans again. That's what it's about, right? Uh, it's a sport. We're fighting, but at the same time, there's a lot of technique and there's a lot going into it. So I'm just excited to get out there and put on a show for the fans.
And what was the game plan heading into the fight? And do you feel like you executed it?
Yeah, the game plan was a little bit different than normal going into this fight. I was dealing with just a couple things, so we had to work around them, and I stuck to the game plan. Maybe I should have switched it up, which I think I did after that first. No, it was just a little bit different going into this one, and my body definitely needs some rest, and it's getting it. I haven't done too much this last week and a half, so I'm resting up and ready to put the rest of that bantamweight division on notice.
Was there anything about him that surprised you at all in the fight?
No, not really. I mean, he put his hands together a little bit better than we thought he would, but for the most part, he was strong, fast, spastic. He threw spinning shit that we knew he was going to throw. Nothing surprised us besides just a lot of shit going into that fight, and I'm glad that I'm happy for it though, because we put on a great show, ended up getting fight of the night, so no regrets.
And it's obviously a weird finish. You get the finish in the fight, but they rule it after the bell's over and everything else. What was sort of your reaction, at the end when people are saying, he was kicking his legs out and everything else? How do you sort of respond to that?
I don't know how you can go out a few times in a fight and win. So the right call was made, and I don't know what everyone's getting mad at me for. I'm not the ref. Um, all you have to do is go online and listen to the most knowledgeable referees out there. The only people getting their panties up in a bunch is all those people from the East Coast, and I'll hit him and his teammates, and that's it. So people are asking me like, "Oh, well, Merab says he wasn't out." Of course, Merab says he wasn't out. Of course, he's gonna say that. But when I'm squeezing on a limp neck, it's easy for if you ever put someone out before. Sometimes they go out, their neck gets a little squishy. He was going in and out, and I could feel it, and I was yelling at the ref. So the right call was made, and I'm happy for it.
And do you feel vindicated now that they actually, went back, looked at the fight, and they said you still got the win?
No, I wasn't worried about it from the fight. I knew when I stood up, I saw his eyes, in the back of his head, and he can say whatever he wants, but my paycheck says I won.
Right. Yeah. And I like the shout out you gave to Washington State after, and, said, I got my fans and everything. I thought that was kind of neat. And, you cut a pretty good promo. I don't know if pro wrestling was ever something you watched growing up, but I like that after the fight.
No, just something that just trying to be me. I'm here now. I feel like I could be a little bit more of myself. I don't have to play too much politics. I'm not gonna like try to be someone I'm not, but there's someone I want to fight. I'm gonna say it. Closed mouth don't get fed. So, I assume the fans want to know who everyone is, anyways. Who the real fighter is, not just a fake show. So, I was high off the win. I was feeling good, and I said what I wanted to say.
Does it bother you at all that people are still talking about that when they're not talking about how great the fight was? Like, if you go back and watch it, it was super entertaining. I think, especially with the fact, you had this on short notice, and, it was just such a back and forth fight. Does that kind of bother you at all?
Nah, it was a good fight. All the real MMA fans know it was a good fight. For those who are saying all that crap, they can stick to watching Conor McGregor's fights.
Fair enough. How has the feedback been on social media? I imagine it's been a bit of both, but obviously your supporters have come out and really, talked about the performance.
Yeah, I have a great support system over here on the West Coast, especially, and in Hawaii. And like I said, I feel like a lot of the hate's coming from the East Coast. I don't know what it is, but it was my first time over there too, and it was not for me. But I mean, the feedback's been great. I've had a great support system for years now since the beginning of my MMA career. So no complaints from me, and I'm just happy to be home.
I know you haven't got the 50K bonus yet, but what do you plan to do with the money since you won it?
Um, the goal for me is to buy a house. So I'm just gonna sit on it. Keep living like I've been living. No reason to go crazy. Uh, I have everything I want and need. Um, the only thing I want to do is I want to be able to buy a house this year. So I'm thinking 2 more fights and let's get a house.
Do you talk to Chael Sonnen about that? Because he used to be a real estate agent.
Yeah, I've been since fight night. I've been texting Chell back and forth. I've been texting him anytime I have a question about anything. So, he's been in the game for a while. He's a veteran. He knows how to deal with the ins and outs of certain aspects. So yeah, I've been in his ear. As well. That's what's great to have like teammates who've been around the block. Like I was messaging Pat Healy and Ian Loveland and Dave Jansen. Just all the original veterans that I came up with. I'm like who've been there, and I'm just picking their brain.
And where would you look to buy property? Because, I mean, really, you can't go wrong either way. Hawaii is obviously beautiful. Washington State / Oregon's pretty beautiful, too. Have you kind of picked out yet where you want to get a house?
Washington State, they can't get rid of me. I love it here. I'm gonna buy a house over here, and I've also been thinking, for the future, who knows? The UFC PIs in Vegas. Um, the cost of living is not too bad over
Oh,
there.
it's super cheap out in Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, so eventually I would like to buy. This 50K has me thinking all kinds of ways. So I might be buying a house in Vegas for so I can utilize that PI. But really I want to live here. I want to live home in Washington State. I don't ever see myself leaving.
Good stuff. As far as what's next, I've kind of seen it on social media. It looks like you and Benito Lopez want to fight each other. Is that accurate? Because I saw him post something on Facebook, and I think you've mentioned things in other interviews. Is that a fight you want next?
Yeah, little B. There's no more running. There's no more running from me. We were supposed to fight a few different times, obviously outside the UFC before we both got signed. He found a way to get out of each fight, or had an excuse not to sign for each fight. So he got signed off the Contender Series off a split decision. I did not. I'm still salty over that. And he seems like a nice kid, but he's gonna get beat up.
And I know he's mentioned August 4th, that UFC 227 card. Is that what you're looking at as well, too?
Whatever you like, little B. We can do whatever you want. You pick. Go ahead. Pick the date. Pick the date. Yeah. If he feels good, staying at home. Home close to the team and close to mommy and daddy. That's fine. I would like to travel. I would like to utilize these free trips to go fight somebody. But if we're going to Cali, if that's where he wants to get beat up, that's what we'll do it.
See, the UFC doesn't even need to do anything. They don't even need to make a poster. They can just watch the back and forth, and it sort of sells itself, right? Like, you guys have that history, which is kind of what people like watching.
We have history. That they don't need to do nothing. It's sold. They got 2 young prospects. I think he's 23. I'm 25. We went pro young. We've been fighting forever. Yeah. Let's see who can best each other, and I'm pretty confident in my skills and with the matchup. So he better become with something else other than that weak ass flying knee.
Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah, you could follow my fan page, just Ricky Simone on Facebook, and the newly upgraded username on Instagram and Twitter, Ricky Simone UFC.